Student meteorologist Daniela Streeting, and welcome to the Monday night edition of FSU Weather. Taking a live look at Doak right now, we're seeing some sunny blue skies, a couple passing clouds, 88 right now, and partly cloudy. Winds to the southeast at 6 miles per hour. And current temperatures right now, we are unseasonably warm right now as we're staying in the mid to upper 80s across the Big Bend in South Georgia. And as we're looking at our dew points, we are staying fairly sticky, but we're still a little drier than what we normally are for this region this time of year. And if you're going out tonight, expect those partly cloudy skies with a low of 71. You might have a light breeze from the south-southwest. And today, our biggest headline, we're going into our summer-like temperatures still and sticking around for Tallahassee as we enter October. We're also going to look into the aftermath of Hurricane Helene making landfall as a Category 4 hurricane in the Big Bend. And we have more to look forward to in the Gulf, unfortunately. So make sure to tune in here at FSU Weather. Again, looking at that live look at Doak right now, those beautiful sunny and blue skies to enjoy in Tally today. And we're looking at our current temperatures pretty uniform across the region, looking into the upper 80s. And as we take a look into our current radar, we maybe have some pop-up showers and storms across Cross City and Lake City. But overall, Big Bend in South Georgia is looking pretty clear. No rain to worry about at the moment. Those dew points, though, are staying a little high. We're at 74 in Tallahassee. And 70 in Perry as well, and those will kind of pretty much stay the same throughout this week. If you're planning to go out tonight, those mostly cloudy skies with a low of 71. Winds staying pretty much calm tonight if you're planning to go out. And that will stay across the region. The lows will stay into the low to mid 70s. We even have 75 and same marks at the coast. And as we go up into South Georgia, those lows will stay at 71. If you're going to class tomorrow, it will be cloudy in the morning, so you can expect some overcast skies, maybe a peak of sunshine every now and then. But as we move into the day tomorrow, we may have a light breeze from the northwest at 4 miles an hour, and those highs staying in the upper 80s. And tomorrow's forecast as well, across the region, we're going to see those mid to upper 80s across the Big Bend in South Georgia, even 87 in Monticello, and even 88 in Bainbridge and Quincy. As we take a look in the motion of our future satellite and radar, we see again those passing clouds we expect into tomorrow morning and the afternoon, maybe a pop-up shower or two possible going into the coastal Big Bend. But as we roll through into Tuesday evening, those clouds will begin to break and leave the area, so we'll maybe have peaks of sunshine here and there throughout the day. And as we take a look into the week ahead, we have rain chances remaining fairly low, but those 90s are going to pretty much tease into the picture throughout the week. And as we move on into the latter half of this work week, those rain chances will begin to ramp up, but thankfully those temperatures will stay in the low to mid 80s. And as we take a look, shifting gears into the southeast, we see beautiful blue skies across Orlando, even a high of 91 right now. Charleston and Charlotte, thankfully getting a break from that rain, seeing those clouds and blue skies. Atlanta's looking a little cloudy today and perhaps even a little hazy due to that biohazard contamination, and Conyers definitely keeping our thoughts with them right now. But as we take a look into current conditions, most of the highs in the area are staying in the upper to mid 80s, maybe even 75 in Nashville, staying cooler to the north of us. But we even have 88 in Tampa, 91 in Orlando, and even 91 in Shreveport, Louisiana at the moment. So we still have very summer-like temperatures moving across the southeast. And those dew points are pretty much staying with it as well, even 76 here in Tampa, 75 in Miami. And thankfully, it's getting a little drier the farther west and north we go. But again, in Florida, we're seeing those summer-like temperatures with summer-like dew points, which even then is causing heat index values in the almost triple digits as then we go into Tampa, in Orlando, and Miami. Thankfully, though, those heat index values are staying a little bit lower as you go more to the north. So thankfully, the temperatures up there are a little more manageable to deal with. Thankfully, though, for those who are dealing with those high index values, we do have a breeze potentially to help you cool off a little bit. We have those winds going 8 miles per hour from Tampa onshore into the peninsula as well. As we take a look in the satellite and radar, we can see some pop-up showers and storms throughout the southwest portion of Florida and even on the Atlantic side going out from Jacksonville as well. Again, some rain moving across into the Atlanta area where you can see some pop-up showers possible in the region in northern Georgia. Now, take a look at our future radar. We again, going into tomorrow night, can see some showers and thunderstorms possible across I-4 and I-75 corridor to Orlando, reaching all the way down to almost Naples. But the rest of the region stays fairly clear as we have maybe a potential shower or two in the Tennessee Valley. And as we move forward into the week, those clouds will continue to break and a couple of pop-up showers and storms will still be possible. So we can look into the accumulated rainfall. Most of the rain we will be seeing is going to stay isolated into southwest Florida and central Florida, almost a little over an inch of rain possible in Orlando, but thankfully, and even an inch and a half in New Orleans. But thankfully for our friends in Atlanta, Charleston, and Charlotte, they will not be seeing a lot of rain, which is good for them because they don't need any more flood threats for quite some time. And moving into tonight across the southeast, we're looking on either side of 70 for most parts of the region, with the outliers being in Tampa and Miami, of course, staying in the upper 70s and 80s. We go into tomorrow's forecast. It's still going to be very warm for this time of year. Definitely not feeling like fall right now. Tallahassee looking at 89, and across Orlando as well with those potential pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Even seeing some low 90s in Shreveport, 89 in New Orleans as well into tomorrow. So definitely stay hydrated and pretty much treat it like it's summer almost, because that is pretty much what it's like at the moment. And as we look back across campus, we can again see those blue skies and clouds all across Tallahassee. So it's definitely been a beautiful day, but it's definitely also been a warm day. And we look at the res right now, beautiful look at the lake here. At 88 right now, partly cloudy again with those winds. Got a light breeze coming in to enjoy. And if you want to continue to enjoy this cool weather and you have time to go by the pool tomorrow, definitely those clouds will be passing by, so you might have some overcast weather to deal with, but the sun decides to peek out towards the afternoon. It definitely will still be plenty warm for you to enjoy the pool if you have the opportunity. If you're planning to walk your furry friend tomorrow morning, the conditions are going to be good for that, so it's definitely not going to be too hot, so please take that advantage of that before class tomorrow. If you're planning to go hiking, I would be wary of the debris possibly on trails here in Tallahassee in our surrounding areas due to the remnants of Helene, but it will be 85 and mostly sunny, so it'll be enjoyable conditions if you are able to go out there. If you are enjoying the nightlife this week, it will be pretty clear in the low 70s, so you'll have decent weather to deal with as well, no rain to worry about. And if you're planning just to stay out late in general, again, we have the potential for some partly cloudy skies, maybe some cloudy skies, but those temperatures will remain in the low to mid 70s. And if you're going to class tomorrow, again, we're going to see those high upper 80s and possibly cloudy skies to roll into tomorrow. So as we look into the short term for the remainder of the week, again, those rain chances will remain low for the middle of the week. And as we go into the end of our work week, those rain chances will begin to ramp up a little bit, but those temperatures will thankfully die down into the mid 80s. But now as we switch gears to talk about Hurricane Helene, who made a landfall near Steinhatchee as a Category 4 hurricane on Friday morning, very early, late Thursday night, caused a lot of devastation. Thankfully, it missed Tallahassee, the western eye wall, by 25 miles. It was a very, very close call for us. We are very fortunate here in Tallahassee. However, many people to our east and northeast are not so fortunate, and it's very unfortunate. As Helene accelerated northward, it caused a lot of issues across North Georgia, all of Georgia, and the Carolinas as well. Unfortunately, to report, the death toll has surpassed 120 as of the most recent report across 6 different states, and there's the potential of hundreds and maybe even over 1,000 people missing as well. Over 2 million customers remain without power, and hundreds of roads are still closed, especially in western North Carolina, where there has been a huge flooding and landslide concern. There's also been storm surge flooding issues across southwestern Florida, especially around the Tampa Bay area and Pinellas County area as well. As we take a look, here's some footage courtesy of the Carolina Weather Group of some footage from the flooding in North Carolina, specifically in the Asheville area. Helene caused some of the worst flooding in a century for North Carolina. They got about 4 months of rain in 3 days. And that's incredible. And I don't mean that in a good way, of course. it's devastating what has happened to the community of Asheville and the surrounding areas and small rural areas of North Carolina. Counties including Asheville, again, reported at least 35 deaths due to flooding, which is extremely unfortunate. And routes into Asheville are washed away or covered by mudslides. So it's making it very difficult for people who want to help to try and help. There's also no way to communicate. Lots of cell towers are down. It's been very hard to get cell service into the Asheville area, really anywhere in western North Carolina. So getting supplies and power for residents has been delayed. People are at the threat of losing their water supply as well, as they do not have access to tap water due to the flooding concerns and contamination concerns in the area as well. So any bottled water and other food supplies are very scarce right now for those in western North Carolina, and definitely a lot of thoughts are with them. And here is more footage, video courtesy again of the Carolina Weather Group, showing cars flipped and buildings absolutely in ruins from the flooding. There was even some footage of waters almost engulfing full restaurant buildings, just to show you how high the water went. It's a lot like storm surge you would have seen in Steinhatchee for comparison, if not higher. So this is definitely devastating for these mountainous towns and valley towns as well. And on top of Helene, we've already had, while Helene was making landfall here in the Big Bend, we had Isaac form in the northern Atlantic, and we also have had Joyce and Kirk now, as of this afternoon, forming in the Atlantic. Thankfully, though, they are not expected to be threats to the United States. But there is an area to watch here that we're looking at into the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, where there's I believe, a 40% chance of forming within the next couple of days. Yes, so we have 10% chance in the next 2 days and 40% chance in the next 7 days moving into the Gulf of Mexico. Again, we're going to watch this as we have to take this a day-by-day basis and make sure to just keep checking in with the updates from the National Hurricane Center. And hopefully this will not be another threat to Florida. But again, it is too early for us to tell at the moment. But again, we at FSU Weather and as well as the National Hurricane Center will be keeping a very close watch on this system. So as we move on tonight, we are keeping our thoughts with those in the eastern Big Bend as well as Georgia, and especially into the Carolinas, as we hope that they will get the help they need very soon. But I would have a good night, and this is student meteorologist Daniela Street, and here's a last look at your 7-day.